En julio de 1947, un misterioso suceso en Roswell, Nuevo México, desencadenó decenas de teorías conspirativas y rumores de encubrimiento extraterrestre. ¿Fue solo un globo meteorológico o el choque de una nave alienígena? Las versiones oficiales han cambiado y los testimonios de los testigos cuentan otra historia. ¿Qué pasó realmente en Roswell? Descubre los detalles ocultos y decide por ti mismo si este caso es verídico. ¿Estás listo para cuestionar la verdad? Bienvenidos a Swarstops. ...2 de julio de 1947... Una noche de tormenta furiosa... El granjero McBride Seal descubre algo inimaginable en su rancho en Roswell, Nuevo México. Los restos retorcidos de lo que parece un platillo volador lo envuelven en un miedo inimaginable. La oscuridad envuelve su descubrimiento mientras los relámpagos iluminan brevemente el desolador paisaje. El 5 de julio, con el horror aún fresco en su mente, McBride corre al sheriff local. Tres días después, el 8 de julio, el periódico local, el Roswell Daily Record, publica un titular escalofriante. Las fuerzas aéreas capturan un platillo volador en un rancho de Roswell. Pero la euforia se convierte en duda cuando, el día siguiente, un general del Ejército declara que no era más que un globo meteorológico, sembrando las primeras semillas de lo que podría convertirse en el más infame encubrimiento de vida extraterrestre. Los días pasan y el Roswell Daily Record proporciona descripciones que desorientan aún más. El aparato, del tamaño de una mesa, compuesto por un caucho gris, papel de plata y cintas adhesivas florales, no ayudaban a explicar esta teoría. Tampoco había rastro de metal para la propulsión. El silencio del Ejército de los Estados Unidos se torna en una ominosa sombra, alimentando teorías y miedos. El rancho de McBride, normalmente solitario, se convierte en un hervidero de curiosos el 2 de julio. Testigos afirman haber visto seres extraños a bordo de la nave.
And was part of the cleanup crew whenever the crash happened. And so he was actually involved in it. His last tour of duty was in Vietnam. He acquired Agent Orange, which gave him cancer of the spine. So 2 weeks after we found out, he passed away. But before he passed away, my mother and I had taken him to Clovis, and they airvac him out to El Paso where he passed away. And as they were getting ready to put him on the gurney to load him up, he told me, he said, he always called me his baby. He said, baby, don't ever let anyone tell you that crash didn't happen. He said, it happened. I was out there, I saw the crash site, I saw the spacecraft, and I saw the grace. And the grace was in reference to the color of the skin. And 2 weeks later, he passed away.
He kept up shooting
for that long. He had spent almost 26 years in the Air Force. He had the highest security clearance that the Air Force gives. And he never said a word. On the day he passed away, my mother still never knew. He knew he was going to die. And it's very moving that he should have that much love for me. that he would reveal something so important. But I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all.
You are honoring him now by telling this to everyone.
Yes, I am. I'm trying to. Every time I tell the story, I feel that it's something that he would have wanted, that he couldn't do himself. But I always feel that he's with me.
My dad was one of the soldiers or the military people that went out and picked the aliens up when they crashed here in 1847.
What did you find out?
He told my sister and I just before he passed away in '88 when he passed away. He never talked about it before that because the government had threatened them with their lives and threatened them with their pensions and threatened them with their families' lives. So he had never talked about it until just before he passed away.
What did you tell him?
He said that he went out and found that when they got there that he observed the crash site, a circular type ship crash site, and there was debris strewn everywhere, and that he had found 3 bodies. They had large heads on them, and at least one of them was still alive when they brought him back to the base.
And he kept that.
Kept that a secret his whole life. He was born 1923, and he kept it a secret until 1987, 88 when he passed away.
I was at the fire station the day the state policeman came by, and he had a piece of the material. And all of the firemen handled it and played with it, and when they were through playing with it, I got to handle it and play with it for a while.
What did you do with it?
I would wad it up in my hand and then drop it on the table. And by the time it hit the table, it was totally flat. And it was so soft that it did not wrinkle. It didn't make a noise. There was no noise, and you couldn't feel anything when it was in your hand. They tried to set it on fire with their lighters, and it wouldn't burn, and they tried to cut it with their knives, and they couldn't cut it. And they just talked about how strong it was and how it didn't wrinkle at all. No wrinkles anywhere. Wadded up, and by the time it hit the table, it was like it poured water on the table. No one was afraid of it until after the government made such an issue.
What happened then?
Everybody got afraid to even talk about it because whoever knew about it got threatened. You know, they came out to our house and they threatened me, and my mother was there. She heard the threats. Now, if Daddy was threatened at the time, it wasn't at the house. Probably at the fire station, they were all cautioned. But what was actually said, I only know what was said to me.
What did they tell?
They first tried to convince me I didn't know anything, I didn't see anything, and I didn't hear anything, and I kept insisting I did, because we were taught you couldn't lie. And when he insisted, you don't know anything at all. And he finally said, if you don't understand that you don't know anything, I'll tell you what will happen to you. He said, you know, we had 2 POW camps here during World War II. This is very shortly after World War II was over that this all happened. And he said, you can be taken from your parents. We'll send them to one of the POW camps. We'll send all of the kids to the other. And one was south of Roswell called Orchard Park, and the other one was in Artesia. And the Artesia camp was not actually a POW camp, it was the Japanese internment camp for the Japanese citizens. And he said, now if that doesn't convince you that you can't talk about this, we can just take you out here and kill you in the desert. He said, it's a big old desert, and nobody will ever find your bodies. So we'll just bury you out there. Nobody will ever know you were ever here. So I promised I wouldn't talk about it.
La prensa y los cazadores de ovnis alimentan la paranoia con informes de autopsias secretas y misteriosos traslados a instalaciones ocultas. En 1995, un anciano camarógrafo de la Fuerza Aérea, Jack Gagher, revela una cinta olvidada. En ella, figuras médicas realizan una autopsia a un ser alienígena de piel gris, sin cabello y con 6 dedos en cada mano. La imagen del ser grotescamente desproporcionado persigue la mente de quienes lo ven. Las fuerzas aéreas intentan silenciar las voces, desclasificando archivos en 1994, mostrando imágenes de globos meteorológicos y asegurando que los experimentos con muñecos humanos comenzaron en 1953. Sin embargo, la contradicción en las fechas alimenta aún más el miedo y la duda. Los testimonios de testigos que describen cadáveres alienígenas, algunos sollozando en agonía, convierten la historia en una oscura leyenda. Roswell, un lugar de peregrinación para los amantes de los ovnis, presenta museos y centros de investigación que celebran lo desconocido. Al final, ¿fue un ovni o un simple globo? La verdad envuelta en mentiras y medias verdades sigue siendo tan esquiva como la luz de los relámpagos aquella noche de 1947. Si eres de los que buscan lo desconocido y no temes a las sombras, este canal es para ti. Aquí exploramos lo que otros prefieren ignorar, historias de terror reales, avistamientos de ovnis y teorías conspirativas que podrían hacerte cuestionar la realidad. Suscríbete y adéntrate en un mundo donde el miedo es solo el comienzo y la verdad puede ser más escalofriante de lo que imaginas. Muchas gracias por ver el video.